For whatsoever is not out from faith is sin. And then we get into Galatians chapter 6 and verse 2, where he says, bearing one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ. So bearing expresses a sustained effort or a burden bearing. So it's something that is not a little picking up something like grabbing and holding. It's a long time where you're putting up with this, you're bearing with it. You've got a sustained effort. The strong in the faith are actually to bear those who are weak, over in Romans chapter 15 and verse 1. We then who are strong ought to bear they translate it as scruples. But of course, what does your word scruples mean? It actually means the inabilities of the weak. So if we, of the stronger ones, understand that, then we are to pay attention to those who are weaker and not actually cause them to be stumbled because we're eating and partaking, and in doing that, we're encouraging them to join us when we know it actually violates their conscience. So there are times where we can't enjoy the things we want because there's a weaker brother that if by enjoying that, we might actually cause them to sin. So we need to bear the inabilities of the weak in the faith. And we're not to permit our freedom to harm another person's conscience. 1 Corinthians talks about this. 1 Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 7. However, there is not in everyone this knowledge. Now, of course, what he's talking about here is idols, the so-called gods. Well, I, for one, know that the gods of this world are nothing more than sticks and stones. So if somebody wants to offer something to a god, and then, whether it's an animal or whatever, and then cut up the best parts, offer it to a god, and then serve it up, I don't have an issue with eating it because, like I said, it's just sticks and stones. But there are some people who actually do have a conscience issue with that. So I should be concerned about them. And I'm not going to eat that, even though I don't have a problem. Not for the benefit of another is why I'm going to do this. And we don't want to, as stronger Christians who understand the faith, that understand we're not defiled by that, we do not want to cause the defilement of another saint by our actions, especially when it comes to food. He says, yet if your brother is grieved because of your food, you are no longer walking in love. Do not destroy with your food the one for whom Christ has actually died. So don't use your freedom in a way that actually causes harm to other Christians.